instead said, Nude is literally the worst, most poorly written song I've ever heard, and people only like it because they like i-dle. It's objectively not a good song. Hello everyone, welcome to my channel if you're new here, or if you are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Sel, and I am your local K-pop gremlin with way too many opinions. And today, I'm going to be sharing 8 of those opinions with you all. I've listed them from least to most strongly held, so we'll be getting more and more serious as the video goes on. But as always, if you enjoyed the video and you want to see more K-pop discussions, any content like that, don't forget to drop a like, a comment, and or subscribe to the channel. I have a ton of video ideas planned for the near future. Also, I do live stream 2 to 3 times a week over on Twitch at twitch.tv/Cylindria. So if you want to hang out with me and interact with me live, drop a follow there as well. You can find the link in the description box below. Finally, if you agree or disagree with any of the topics that we talk about today, I would absolutely love to read your comment. Just remember, maintain respect at all times. Any disrespect or hate will promptly be deleted. Well, that's enough rambling. Let's just jump right in. Okay, my first opinion is about this term noise music, okay? Can we please stop using the term noisy or noise music as an insult, as if noise automatically equals a bad song? Because I totally understand that that's not the vibe for you, but I purposefully, as like a music enjoyer, I reach for music because it's noisy, because it has high energy, because it has a lot of layers to it, and it makes me want to move. And personally, noisy, quote unquote, K-pop does exactly that for me. Outside of this genre in particular, I usually listen to rock, heavy rock, metal, and also like rap and hip hop. So the parts of K-pop and the entire genre that attracts me are the parts that also meet that high energy standard for me and that fast-paced like threshold, right? So it just annoys me a little bit when people like say, oh, this is just noise music, right? And they just kind of suggest that it should be thrown in the trash because of that. Or it's like, I get it if you don't like that, but for me, noise music isn't an insult. It's exactly what I like to listen to, especially at the gym when I'm lifting weights. Like, give me the noise. Let me enjoy my noise, okay? Okay, our second opinion is about i-dle's most recent comeback, Nude. To be honest, I was super excited for a i-dle comeback. And I even like wrote it down in my calendar. I tracked their comeback. And don't get me wrong, I think the concept is brilliant. The girls are so talented, so beautiful. They looked amazing in blonde hair. The visuals were just stunning. And I really did like the overall meaning of the song. It was superb. But for me personally, the sound of the song just really gets under my skin. I was kind of disappointed in the comeback. It kind of seems like I'm in the minority. It seems like the comeback did really well, which I'm happy about. But for me, several parts of the song just legitimately irritate me. From the beginning to parts in the middle and the end, to be honest. There's multiple places where I just really don't like this song. And the overall flow just feels a little messy. But as always, if you enjoy it, that's fantastic. I'm not saying it's a bad song. I just personally don't enjoy listening to it. Okay, our third opinion is about a group called P1 Harmony, actually. And I know most of us have that one group that we feel like is just so underrated and deserves more love. And we're like trying to constantly tell our friends to go stan. And for me personally, that's P1 Harmony. Like, I don't understand how they haven't blown up yet. Every single one of their title tracks slaps. And they also have a ton of really good B-sides as well. Personally, my favorite of their B-sides is Butterfly. Like, literally, when I listen to that song, my breath stops. I swear to God. If you haven't listened to Butterfly by P1 Harmony, go do it. Go do it real quick. Their most recent comeback, Back Down, is also such a banger. And I truly, genuinely feel that if a bigger group, like let's say NCT, if a bigger group released Back Down, I really think fans would have eaten it up. But unfortunately, if it comes from PR, like, I'm really hoping they do much better with this comeback because it's such a good song. So maybe I'll eat my words. But I'm anticipating that it's not going to blow up as much as if a bigger group, you know, released it, which I guess that's just how the way the world works. But I would love to see them gain more traction and gain more fans over time. Kiho in particular genuinely has one of my favorite voices in all of K-pop, and he's also genuinely hilarious.
Yes, so let's go to the beach, let's go get away.
Totally understandable if they're not your taste personally, but if you have never given them a shot, never given them a listen, please go change that. Okay, so perhaps a little controversial, and absolutely no hate meant by this. And I will start this with the caveat that I know that IVE's concept is all about elegance. And, you know, that concept often translates to like smoother and calmer dance movements and softer facial expressions. Personally, I really love the songs Love Dive, and I really like 11. After Like is okay. I don't love it as much. It's not on my personal playlist, but Love Dive and 11, honestly, like earworms, mega bops. I like them. They're catchy. But when it comes to stage presence, IVE really doesn't draw me in, and it doesn't really make me want to go back and watch their stages over and over again. Don't get me wrong, they're gorgeous, but there's just something that feels particularly repetitive about their performances, and I genuinely can't feel much passion coming from them, especially when you compare them to other groups that really dance and perform with passion. That's just not something that I personally feel from them. Maybe other than Yujin, but I feel like the girls in general are only giving like 75%. And I'll be honest, it's possible that just their overall concept isn't for me. Like, I recognize that. I mean, I do kind of prefer like heavy-hitting boy group choreos that are really tough. But even when I watched their Mama performance the other day, I wanted more. And again, no hate meant at all. I'm so proud of and impressed by the amazing success that they found this year. And Wonyoung must be protected at all costs. Okay, I won't tolerate Wonyoung slander. But if you are a huge IVE fan, I would love to hear what draws you personally to them in the comments, because for me, they're just not really a group that I like to watch. I'll listen to them every once in a while, but they're not really a group that blows me away. But I know that they have garnered a lot of attention and people are very attracted to them. So I'd love for you guys to like kind of share your experience with them and what makes you like them so much. This might seem like a silly one, but I keep coming across people on YouTube and on Twitter panicking about TXT going through a supposed quote-unquote concept change. And that just confuses me a little bit, because I feel like TXT has been serving us a healthy mix of both dark and bright concepts since at least their Eternity album, you know, because that one had Puma on it and Can't You See Me? Like, I'm not saying that those two songs are like the darkest of the dark, but they definitely aren't as, you know, like bubblegum and you know, poppy and bright as like Blue Hour. Additionally, I feel like their Chaos chapter features songs like Magic and Ice Cream. Like, are those not poppy, you know, bright songs? For me personally, I think that they can definitely pull off both cute and edgy concepts, but I, you know, widely speaking, just prefer dark concepts. So I've personally been feeling pretty well fed with their recent content, to be honest. And especially Yunjin, I just feel like he oozes Thursday's Child vibes. So I see why people are kind of like, oh, where did the cute TXT go? But I don't necessarily feel like we can qualify them as going through a concept change. I don't know. Let me know if you disagree or agree with that. I don't know if they're necessarily going through this huge concept change, and I get why people maybe didn't enjoy their most recent comeback with Good Boy Gone Bad. So I'm excited to see where they go next, but I just kind of feel like they've been kings of variety for a long time. Okay, we're now getting into my last two opinions, and I do hold these two pretty strongly. The first is that I am not a person who really likes consuming content that romantically ships idols, regardless of their gender. It's just not something that interests me. I'm definitely someone who enjoys watching compilations of idols interacting with one another, just generally speaking, because I think it shows a new side to them that you can't usually see on stage. But some fans and some creators just push it a bit too far, especially when they start romantically shipping people together. Like, if a male and a female idol even look at each other, like, oh no, here comes the shipping rumors. Like, I think there's a difference between highlighting a friendship between two people like San and Wooyoung, right, from ATEEZ. Those are the first that come to mind. But when you even Google their names together, the Google recommendation for the next search pops up with, quote, are Wooyoung and San in a relationship? Huh? Like, what? Even if they are, don't we think it's a bit weird to speculate on this? I don't know, that's just me. And all these like weird compilations of them like touching in slow-mo, it's like, why do you guys want these dudes to be dating so badly? And forgive me if I'm wrong, but I don't really see people shipping female idols with other female idols quite to the same extent. I may just not be on that side of YouTube, so please correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but to my knowledge, it's primarily a behavior with male idols. Why? Like, it's fascinating. Why is this the case? It's like, if I can't have him, then the only person I'm comfy with him, you know, comfy with him being with is his group mate. It's just not a trend that I can get on board with, and to be honest, it makes me a little uncomfy, and it makes me kind of feel like I'm back in high school. As someone who has somewhat of parasocial relationships with others, like, first of all, I teach college classes, and some of my classes are pretty big. So to be honest, many of my students know me better than I can ever get to know them. And I also stream on, you know, on Twitch. So it would make me really uncomfy if people who I didn't really know very well were shipping me together with my colleagues. So I think we just sometimes need to take a breather, take a pause, slow down a little bit, and consider, like, are the things that we're saying about these idols, like, they're people, they have feelings, and sometimes they can see the content that you're making about them on social media. So sometimes I think we just need to slow down and be a little more cautious and, thoughtful about the stuff that we're saying about people. Oh, I lied. There's 2 more after this. I can't count. I have a PhD in psychology, but I can't do math. So we have 2 more after this. My second to last is about hyperbole. Literally, everybody is so dramatic. Like, we get it. You have opinions, but there's a way that you can say things that aren't as so in your face, Like, I commonly come across people on all types of social media, not just YouTube, who just have no idea how to express their opinion in a way that isn't just incredibly hyperbolic. So if you don't know, hyperbole is a literary device in which a person exaggerates dramatically to express some idea or concept. I don't know why it's so difficult for people to say, I didn't really like Future Perfect by Enhypen. I feel like it's kind of a step in a direction that I don't really personally enjoy, but I can understand that you guys like it. No, instead, you get opinions like, Future Perfect is literally the worst song I have ever heard. It makes my ears bleed. Or, NMIX's music is literally garbage. How could anyone listen to that? Like, are you serious? Is this just clickbait? Are you purposefully trying to rile people up? Or did these people actually not exist on the planet when that one horrible song, What Does the Fox Say, was hugely popular? Pretty sure I was in middle school. So if we want to talk about the worst song you've ever heard, there's a lot of other contenders out there. Thank you very much. Does anyone else remember that nightmare? Or am I just, like, collectively having a hallucination about that? Anyway, circling back to the g-idle point, what if I had instead said, Nude is literally the worst, most poorly written song I've ever heard, and people only like it because they like g-idle? It's objectively not a good song. No, I don't speak like that because I'm an adult, first of all. And second of all, I recognize that music is incredibly subjective, and speaking in absolutes like that is just silly. It's really like this, I'm ranting about this, but it's really not the end of the world, and I can separate my enjoyment of a song. Like, I love Future Perfect, one of my favorite Enhypen songs. One of my favorite songs of the year, honestly. I can separate my enjoyment of those songs from other people's opinions, but it just feels really immature when people speak in these sweeping hyperboles and generalizations all the time, and I see this pretty consistently in the K-pop, universe. Okay, I'm going to sound like a grandma here for a second, but recently I read a slew of comments on Twitter, as well as reactions to these comments, about how apparently older people should move on from K-pop and focus on their careers and their lives. As someone who kind of feels ancient in this world, although I'm still only in my late 20s, the fact that teenagers think that you suddenly hate fun and drop all your hobbies in adulthood is really sad to me. Like, are you guys okay? You know that when you get into your 20s and 30s, you don't have to suddenly, like, only wear gray and be sad all the time and only work and eat food and then go to sleep. Like, I know my free time is not as much as I'd like it to be, but I definitely still have the free time to do things. I mean, I'm making a YouTube video right now, right? And I can watch content and enjoy content even though I'm older. That doesn't change. And if you think that you can't, if you think you can't watch cartoons anymore, you can't like stuffed animals, you can't like the color pink, like things that we perceive to be more childish and girly when you get older, I feel sad for you. Because there's really no age limit on those kinds of things. I really implore you to kind of stop thinking like that. If anything, adults are the ones that make enough money to afford the things that we like circling back to K-pop, affording merch and concert tickets. You were never too old specifically to appreciate a music genre. I don't even care what the music genre is. And it's nobody's business if you're enjoying it either. You can enjoy the music, commenting on it, consuming the content around the musicians. Additionally, I feel like there's this misconception that K-pop fans, like all of them are just crazed fangirls. So it's like embarrassing that an older person would be a crazed fangirl. And most of us aren't actually like that. You can just appreciate talent and enjoy watching performances and interviews and having discussions with people without taking it that far on the spectrum, Finally, I hope you realize that many of the idols that you like are closer to my age than yours, okay? And I'm speaking to this like hypothetical you that would criticize older adults. Older adults, that's a weird way to phrase it. I'm not that old, but you know what I mean. Anyone who makes these comments are usually in their teens, and it's like a lot of these idols are closer to my age. Like Bang Chan's, he's 25? Do you really think that he cares about your high school homework? Like some of the, I'm gonna save this for a different video, but some of the comments that I see dropped on live streams literally want to make me want to pull my hair out. I guess I'm speaking in hyperboles now too. You see what you guys are doing to me? Anyway, some of the things that people say on those live streams are like, oh, Bing Chan, I forgot to turn in my homework today. Sad, Oppa. And I'm just like, oh my God, what are you doing? What are you doing? So people in their 20s can produce the content, but people in their 20s can't consume the content? Make it make sense. Make it make sense. Anyway, those were 8 quick opinions that I strongly hold about K-pop, the music, as well as the culture around it. And thank you guys so much for sitting through this and listening. Like I said, I would love to hear your opinions on everything that we talked about today, assuming that you are being respectful. Don't forget to drop a like if you liked this content, leave a comment, as well as subscribing to the channel. Like I said, I have a ton of really fun videos planned for the future, so keep an eye out for that. And otherwise, I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your day. See you next time.